now, Adam. Adam, you're live on. Adam, you're live on air. Adam, are you married? Are you married? Adam, are you married, Adam?
It's not a question. I can indeed.
If you were, would you beat your wife, Adam? Adam, you're live on the air. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm very happy to talk about my new book.
That's pretty good. I heard your book is racist. Do you have any opinions on that?
Yes.
That's pretty cool. Would you like to keep them to yourself?
I guess my only opinion is that the book is racist, but it's about a race which doesn't exist. So I feel like it's not worth talking about.
I've heard very much that the Jewish population are not happy about the fact that you're denying their existence also.
This is in regards to that one fan letter who asked me if the Zaltramaformians are the Jewish people, and I said, no, there are no immediate historical analogs in my work.
I sent you a strongly worded letter in regards to
that was you.
that you denied the Jewish people's existence in your book. In your book, there is a phrase that you used where you said, the people of hell's begotten ways. When you said the people of hell's, in the subtext you were referring to the Jewish populace. What did you mean by that?
Well, the scene you're referring to is the scene when Zimbop Bambino finds out his wife has a miscarriage. And the hells he's referring to is the amount of pain he feels, which is even greater than his wife's.
Okay, so when he explicitly denies the Jewish faith...
Again, I feel that's grasping.
We'll move on to save your pride here. Okay.
Just to set the note, Zimzop Bambino and the Tralflamadorians is a fictional story set on a different planet with a different rule of physics.
That's really cool. So I drew a picture of a monkey and I called it Sponchoolie Chimpman. When will he be in the next book? Will he be in the next book?
Writing is a process. Sometimes
writing is a process in which you put Sponchoolie Chimpman in the next book.
I've done a lot of stuff, and I don't have the stick-to-itiveness, and so this work.
He's very good with the gun.
This work, the Zimbop Bambino book, it's unique in that I finished it, and so I don't really want to do anything which would interrupt my process and like put conditions on it where I have to say it has to be this kind of a thing.
Right. So if there was to be a second book,
there will be a second
called Sponchoolie Chimpman's Grand Adventure.
It wouldn't be called that because it would be a sequel to Zimbop Bambino.
Sponchoolie Chimpman's Grand Adventure, and in which Sponchoolie Chimpman has a grand adventure and gets married. Who would you say he marries out of the potential women he could marry?
Sponchoolie Chimpman sounds like he would fit more into possibly my comic book series, Robot and Penguin. Perhaps he could marry a Spintangle Plume, like maybe even the titular Penguin. Penguin is famously a gender-neutral, non-binary character, so it would be. I guess
Sponchoolie Chimpman is racist.
Again, that could maybe work as some sort of moral message because there are several layers removed when you're working with penguins and robots.
Chimpman is always right, and the fact that he's racist is more of a hint of God, really. So how do you feel on that?
I was sort of thinking that if he were to exist, he would sort of be an entity unto himself.
He is. God designed Sponchoolie Chimpman at the start of the Earth, and he was designed to be a bastion of knowledge. God descended and gave unto Sponchoolie infinite knowledge, and he's racist. What do you think that says about the universe?
I mean, the Robot and Penguin series takes place in a rather nihilistic, bleak interpretation of reality and its possibilities, so I'd say that kind of just fits in there with the general gulf of it all.
Right. So let's say Sponchoolie Chimpman has a gun. Which of your characters do you reckon he's shooting first?
Maybe Robot. He's a pretty long-suffering character. He's very put upon.
Sponchoolie Chimpman enjoys the sad. He would probably not shoot the robot.
Penguin has a lot of Bugs Bunny energy. He normally ends out on top through very little effort.
The Penguin would probably die.
I doubt that
Chimpman
because
like
he's sort of the main thing.
Up until Sponchoolie Chimpman. I mean, the book is called Sponchoolie Chimpman's Grand Adventure, so...
I was thinking more that could be like an issue of like Robot and Penguin. Like he would be the subject and problem of like an issue. And then it would sort of be something else next time because there's not really a through line.
Why is the book called Sponchoolie Chimpman's Grand Adventure?
Well, the issue where he is in it would be called that. It would be called like Robot and Penguin in Sponchoolie Chimpman's Great Adventure.
So I've drawn the front cover of the book, and the titular penguin does not show up on the front cover of Sponchoolie Chimpman's Grand Adventure.
If you've already done the comic, then I would suggest you just publish it because you don't need.
Well, it's your book.
But you don't need to incorporate it into my canon of work. But I didn't write it.
You did. Sponchoolie Chimpman is your character. He's in your universe. In episode 34, he kills the penguin while proclaiming "Spines is mines." What did you mean? Were you suffering writer's block?
Honestly, when I do Robot and Penguin, it normally starts with like, what's a horrible thing they could be doing, and then we're doing that, and then some bullshit happens, and then it ends.
Right.
There's like, A, there's not really much of a writing process, and B, there's not even that planning ahead of like we're gonna do an idea. So the fact that I'm even offering to do Sponchoolie Chimpman in the first place as like an issue concept, it's like I feel like you've already won, and now you're just trying to unravel it for yourself.
You put Sponchoolie Chimpman in your book, the notorious all-knowing racist, and now you believe you can simply void responsibility by claiming that you are doing the public a favor.
I feel like it's amazing that this radio interview has gone on for so long without cutting the music or an advert or anything. Oh, we're doing like a 40-minute podcast. All right.
Can we bring up the video of Adam here stomping a kitten?
Sure, if you got it. Show it if you got it.
On the radio, pull up the video.
Play it if you got it.
You can see here he's wearing...
I will tell the truth if they have it.
He's wearing the Sponchoolie Chimpman shirt while proclaiming that kitten... Oh, I'm gone. I'm off the air.
I wish I had a Sponchoolie Chimpman shirt. I don't actually merch any of my characters. It's a good thing to maybe look into.
I watched you dressed as a chimpanzee stomping a kitten while proclaiming small fluffy animals deserve death.
Is this like an Eric Andre thing, or do you just have mental illness?
I think you're unwell, sir.
I think you're well, sir.
Have you had therapy in the last 43 years? Thank you. When Sponchoolie Chimpman himself declared death to the middle class.
I thought it was death to the Middle East.
In the original comic series, he does proclaim as such, yes.
Why are you saying I wrote this if this is a thing which has already existed in you're asking me to put this character in my comic book series.
So having involvement in death to the Middle East.
Yes.
So this is Adam, the original author of Sponchoolie Chimpman. And his grand adventure, in brackets, racist adventure. What do you feel about this man and his racist monkey comic?
I love it.
There you go.
Would you recommend it? I've not read it myself. I don't know what it's about. Is it like a real book? This is a real thing he's talking about.
Yeah.
When did
and
it come
you
out?
wrote it.
I didn't write it.
You are the author of Sponchoolie Chimpman.
When did it come out?
No, it McKenna in 1997, apparently.
It would have been one.
Yes, one successful author. Well done. Sponchoolie Chimpman has skyrocketed you to the highest peaks of authorhood.
Are you seriously suggesting, as a BBC presenter, about a 1-year-old child could release and publish a comic book?
So when you declared Stan Lee a false prophet, what did you mean?
Oh, this I can speak to, because I actually did say that. Stan Lee is a low-talent hack whose main job was just coming up with characters and doing cocaine, and then after that just essentially pestering everyone and being like, do it more like the old times. I'm glad he's dead.
And you
he
believe
lessened
that
the Marvel
Sponchoolie
films.
Chimpman is a greater achievement above Stan Lee's works?
I'm going to step
I've
out
not
from
read it,
because
but certainly.
Lamb, join in
The name alone implies a higher level of creativity than anything Stan Lee worked on.
Yeah, swap quick.
It's a shame
Sorry,
about the
it's a
racism,
surprise
unless that's like an
guest
ironic
for Lamb.
point.
Here's our surprise guest, Lamb.
Why are there so many surprise guests in this interview?
Hello, Lamb.
Hello.
I heard you too are a fan of Sponchoolie Chimpman, with the author being Adam, who we have currently on air.
Hey, Lam. We've actually met before.
Do you have any questions for Adam about Sponchoolie
Yeah, Lam,
Chimpman?
do you have any questions for me about Sponchoolie Chimpman?
Yes. What is with the lack of child?
Adam, what is with the lack of child nudity in Sponchoolie Chimpman?
If I had to talk to an author who I don't have access to the thoughts of, they were anathema to me, and I've not even seen or read the source material. But
Adam seems to be denying a change to the Sponchoolie Chimpman child nudity. I'm assuming he intends to continue as such.
Look, Lam, I think probably that book is trying to do a lot of shock factor stuff. Just kind of throw stuff out there and see what's... It sounds wild, honestly, but I wouldn't expect anything going forward.
I don't think the lack of child
You're a sore loser, you're a bad winner.
subtle nuances.
I wouldn't know because I didn't read it, and I haven't written it. I have no knowledge of what we're talking about.
Lamb, if Sponchoolie Chimpman were in your hands right now, how would you feel?
Just try it out and see what
I would include more child nudity.
And there you have it, Adam. An adoring fan making a request. Would you adhere to this fan's request?
No, but for several reasons. I'm going to first again reiterate that I didn't write Sponchoolie Chimpman. I'm not the author. But second of all,
Sponchoolie
I knew Lam
Chimpman.
independently before I knew he was apparently a fan of my work. And I just wouldn't really take his advice like that.
Lamb, who is your favourite character from the Sponchoolie Chimpman series?
this isn't how we play.
The 6-year-old boy.
Steve, the 6-year-old boy.
Could we talk? Have you read any Robot and Penguin? Maybe any Zimbot Bambino? That's like stuff I feel confident talking to.
Child nudity.
There was
I'm afraid there wasn't.
Strategizing.
much nicer.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can we talk about something I wrote?
Okay. So Sponchoolie and Chimpman's Big Day Out is a new book you have released in which he declares white people being the bane of life.
Isn't he a derivative of Curious George?
Yes. They are related, cousins even.
I
However,
don't know how that applies.
it seems how in your most recent book, Sponchoolie pulls the face off of an elderly man and declares it an act of God. Lamb, how did this scene make you feel?
I loved it. I
He-
loved the messaging behind it and how
Love sheep.
start vaping and realise this isn't mine.
A great message to be received. Adam, you truly are a miracle when it comes to writing modern books.
I like the thing with Sponchoolie Chimpman is I was thinking at the beginning of this interview before you shanghaied us into some bizarre kangaroo court was I was half expecting we were going to negotiate something along the lines of Sponchoolie's like this wacky character and he hates the spin tangle plumes.
He sure is wacky. He's so zany.
Racist monkey guy, and then like Penguin and Robot. I don't know, they dick around and eventually something bad happens to him. I thought it was going to be that sort of situation. Maybe he wouldn't visit the character again, except maybe he could cameo in a background appearance. But generally speaking, like, hey, this is wild because you are the author of Sponchoolie Chimpman, and hence why you are asking me.
Are you saying that you believe that your smaller novels, Penguin, will be piloting and coursing off of the success of Sponchoolie Chimpman?
I think you should write it. I think you've gotten your friends to come in here. I don't think
that would be stealing.
I think you should write it.
I'd like to congratulate you on your Netflix deal for the Sponchoolie Chimpman series.
You have done very well for yourself, Adam, the author of Sponchoolie Chimpman.